listeners, today we're talking about failure. And this is kind of continuing off of what we recently talked about.
I am an expert.
Yeah, well, I think we're all experts on failure. But as they say, if you're not failing, you're not trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we recently talked about side hustle versus business, and there's a risk of failure, and you're scared to start. How to get started. So anyway, you were queuing up something in the last one, and we saved it for this episode. So let's talk about failure a little bit.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges of deciding to start and deciding, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to try this, is society's pressure to succeed. And a lot of people view you having a job, and a decent job probably, as success, right? Mm-hmm. And if you leave that job and you go to try something else and it doesn't work out, that society is going to look down on you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think we put that pressure on ourselves. I think that way more than everybody else in the world does.
Yeah.
But we put way more pressure on ourselves for that. But there is this societal pressure that other people, especially on social media, don't want you to be better than them.
I would agree with that.
And so there's this pressure of be normal, be average, right? Don't do more than me, because then you're showing me up.
You're making me look
more
bad.
Successful.
Yeah.
So you have to overcome all those things, and that's hard.
Yeah.
That's real hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you're in the middle, if you're normal and you're doing the normal job, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're not failing if you're not trying. So of course it's the safer route to go.
Yeah. I have a bit of a different viewpoint, I think, than most people on failure, only that in my viewpoint is very skewed towards myself, admittedly. But I tell people all the time, I have never failed. I've never failed in my life. There are things that I haven't succeeded at yet.
Yeah.
But I'm not done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't look at what other people would call failure as failure. Either it was I tried something and pivoted. Mm-hmm. So that pivot, to me, in my own brain, doesn't count as failure, right? It just counts as I tried this, and now I'm going to this, and now I'm going to this.
Yeah.
I'm just not done.
Yeah. You learned from this way.
I haven't succeeded at my goal yet.
Yeah.
But I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm still kicking.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe kind of a psychological trick that I've heard too, to avoid, like, quote unquote failing, is I heard someone talk about it once, where it's like, don't talk publicly to people about this great idea you have, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. Like, quietly do it.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
You want to be out there doing it.
No, only because I am a firm believer in visioning what you want to happen.
Yep.
I'm also a very firm believer, and only because it just has worked out in my life, and I've read some books on it, is that when you put ideas and goals out into the world,
yeah,
you verbalize them and you put them out into the world, for some reason, they're likely to happen.
I would agree with that.
And I think some of it is luck, a little bit. Luck in that you caused it to happen. So versus somebody that didn't say anything to anybody. So let's say you're at a Christmas party, right? And you tell 5 people, hey, this is, you're talking about whatever, and you mention, this is what I'm trying to do, or this is what I want to do, right? One of those people probably will retain that and is talking to somebody else 2 months later and about something similar, right? And they may say, that's funny. I had a friend that I met at a Christmas party, and here's what he's doing. And all of a sudden, you've got a $200,000 order or something.
That's true.
Because of that connection, that if you wouldn't have said anything, that would have never happened.
That's true.
Right? And so I think putting ideas and putting goals and telling people about it really help. Now, I also believe that that the good in human beings is that people actually want to help you.
Yeah, that's true.
And for as much society pressure there is to be average, I think there's also a group of people, especially entrepreneurs, that if you tell, here's my goal, I have had countless conversations with entrepreneurs, and they want to help you like crazy. It's actually stunning when I first started, how many people I would say, well, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm working on, here's what I want to do. And they will literally say, how can I help?
Yeah.
Like any way they can. They just want to help because they know they've been there.
Let me help you skip some steps.
Even in entrepreneurship, they've been there, right?
Yeah.
And they know how hard it is.
Yes.
They know that it's rough early going. And so anything that these people can do to help you, because somebody did that for them, right? Somebody along the way help them and help them get started and help them, get going at some point. And it's returning the favor to the world.
Yeah, exactly. I think I agree with everything you said, that I took away from that previous statement too was more along the lines of like, if all you're ever doing is talking about, I'm going to do this thing, and you never do it, that's bad. But if you work at it, start, talk strategically about it, but then you say, look at this thing I created, then it's more, holy cow, this is amazing, as opposed to just never ever talking about it.
And
but I agree with that.
If you say, I'm going to do this thing, that conversation I mentioned before about your friend talking to another person probably doesn't happen.
That's
because
true.
You haven't done it.
You never did
right?
it.
If you are trying to do that thing,
yes,
or in the process of doing that thing,
wheels are in motion.
Then that conversation happens. Your friend isn't going to recommend you to somebody when they're not sure if you're actually going to do it or not.
Yeah.
Right? They are going to recommend you if you're in the heat of it.
Yeah. I mean, failing in general isn't bad if you are learning from it. That's the key takeaway from all this, is if you make a huge failure from this one thing and then the next thing you don't make that failure. I guess what I'm getting at there is really, if you make the same failure 10 times, that's a problem, but you should be learning each time and evolving from it.
Business is a science experiment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a science experiment. You have a hypothesis, right? You put the hypothesis out into an experiment and you see if it works, right? That's why I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as, I had a hypothesis, I tested the hypothesis, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
When it doesn't work, you pivot and you come up with another hypothesis and you say, let's try this one and see if this works. And then you iterate and you iterate and you iterate. And all the world's inventions don't come out of the blue. They don't come from, we go from zero to having this thing. They're all iterations, and in all cases, there's more than one person involved. So, like Albert Einstein's, theory of relativity, he was anointed with coming up with that. There were multiple people involved in coming up with that theory, and also multiple people very, very close to what he was doing, and they were kind of all competing, kind of all sharing ideas, kind of not, but it was that whole process that created that theory, not just Albert Einstein sitting around on his couch. Yeah, no.
All right, so let's say you have, again, service industry, landscape lighting company, what we're talking about here. Okay. And you have had the money is down, the business is failing. How do you, emotionally, psychologically, how do you pull yourself out of this? You can get in a funk.
You can get in a funk.
How do you get out of that?
And then it feeds on itself.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you need a win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a win. So really you have to have support, right? And that's where you have to have people that you can lean on. I'm in a couple peer groups that people that have been there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are days in business, I don't care how big you are. I'm in a peer group with 9-10 figure businesses, and they have days they're like, I don't know that this is worth it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I'm done.
Yeah.
And you just have to get over it.
Yeah.
You just have to get over it. You have to build the confidence, because once that confidence goes, you're not selling anything. You're not gonna be too successful when you're getting beat down that hard. But you got to get up and keep going. Yeah.
And I mean, if you're killing it day after day after day after day, it's normal for a failure to be coming towards you there. Something bad. If it's good, something bad might.
Every single time in my life, I have thought, man, I have this licked. The world hit you in the face.
Yeah, it's like, don't think so.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah. Okay, well, this has been a great conversation on failure. We hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out at havenlighting.com and follow us on all social media platforms at Haven Lighting. We'll see you next time.